Yeah, I'd like to open up with really proud of our players, the whole organization. Our staff works really hard to put a plan together. Our players bought into that plan. I came out from the very start and executed that defensively and offensively. Really had a great opening drive. I thought that set the tone for the game. I did not think we played as well in the second half as we're capable of, and got a little flat. But yeah, I appreciate the effort and the commitment to the players. Nobody understands how long a layoff that is and how many practices you got to continue to have. And they bought into that each day and came to work and answered a lot of questions that everybody had for them.
All right, first question's from Chip Towers. Go ahead, Chip.
Yes, this is for Derion. Derion, we haven't gotten to talk to you all year. Obviously, it's been a huge year for you, and to get defensive MVP in this game with 2 picks, you're an experienced guy. Can you just sort of put it in perspective what really the last year has been like for you, and being kind of back on this stage again and playing big?
Last year, I just had to keep my head up, keep grinding. God put me in the spot. University of Georgia gave me a chance, and I just put my head down, kept working, and this is what it led to.
Your next question is from Andrea Adelson. Go ahead, Andrea.
Hi, this question is for Kirby and for Stetson. Stetson's performance, how much of a statement do you feel like that made to those who have been questioning him and the performance that he had against Alabama in the last game?
I don't know. I don't get into much about statements. I really focus on performance and do things based on performance. And I thought he performed at a really high level today. He's been really focused the last couple of weeks. I think it's amazing to have a guy his age block out all the noise and just focus harder. It's almost like every time he hears noise, he just focuses harder on the game plan and what he has to do to execute. And you look at some plays he made out there with his feet. They couldn't account for his mobility and some of the plays he made with his feet, and just really proud of the way he prepped for this game.
Yeah, like Coach Smart said, this game's all about how well you play. There's really nothing. I didn't go out there and play, well today in spite of people. I came out there and played well and worked hard throughout the few weeks we had off. Because my teammates needed me to do that, and we needed that to win. So as far as a statement, that's my goal every week, is to play that well.
Your next question from Mike Griffith. Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, Stetson, that deep ball to Cook. Can you just talk about getting the ball downfield and hitting those guys in stride, both Cook and Burton, over 50 yards?
Yeah, I tried not to underthrow him this game. And, Cook ran a great route. Jermaine kind of baited the receiver or the DB, and I just trusted him on that one. Football, those guys on the outside just make it a lot easier because you can trust them, and they're going to get to a spot, and they're, just athletic and great football players.
Next question from Dan Matthews. Go ahead, Dan.
Stetson, with the empty backfield success you guys had tonight, was that something you guys had seen on film, or was it just kind of just the results were there on some of those plays?
Yeah, I think you said. I think sometimes things just work out, and we didn't know that the empty backfield would help like it did, but anytime we can get our skill players in space, so we think that works.
The next question from Mark Weiser. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Kirby, you guys held Michigan without a sack. Obviously, they have some really good pass rushers. And then you guys kind of flipped the script from the Bama game with 4 sacks of your own. What was the key to doing that?
I think we practice against good rushers each day. Jamari and Warren, they listen to everybody talk about those guys rushing, and Jamari and Warren are good pass protectors. They do a nice job, and when they don't, or they give up they give up penetration. Stetson did a good job avoiding. There's a couple times we got beat, even on the touchdown pass. I thought Stetson did an incredible job of getting the ball in the air. We did not block the edge rusher, and he came scot-free, and Stetson got the ball out to James, which was our only, I think, score of the second half. So tremendous job there. Defensively, we generated some better rush. You know, and again, we have to be able to do that to be successful. Was it a magic potion, Mark? I don't think it was a magic potion. We called a lot of the same calls, you know, we called against Alabama, but the quarterback probably didn't escape as good as Alabama's did, and we finished a little better.
Your next question for Jake Rowe. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Kirby. Wanted to ask you real quick. I know Brock Bowers was kind of banged up there late in the game. Do you know anything about kind of what he's dealing with and you know how he's doing right now?
Yeah, he's had a shoulder for a couple of weeks. We've had him practicing in a black jersey, limiting his contact some, but he's a tough dude, man. He's a warrior. He goes back out there and bangs. He wanted to get back in tonight, you know, and we just didn't let him, but he should be fine.
Next question for Pat Ford. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, for Stetson, and if Kirby wants to answer as well. Just you went a lot with the quick game, passing game to begin with. Was that something to kind of counteract some of their pass rush, or what did you guys see in putting together the game plan with that?
You know, from I don't know, since the time football started spreading out and you start throwing the ball a little bit more, you have to account for the extra guy in the box, whether it's a blitzer or a down safety for your run game. And that was a bunch of the stuff that we did early on. And, you know, like I said earlier, when you get our guys out in space, especially with the blockers at the skill position that we have, good things happen.
Yeah, I don't think it was a calculated get the ball out quick answer. It was what the defense gives you. Nowadays, you take what the defense gives you, and Stetson had to make a lot of decisions that people aren't aware of, and he made good decisions on where to go with the ball.
Your next question from Laney Higgins. Go ahead, Laney.
Hey there. I was curious a little bit about the play calling there and how that all happened, because it seems like, you know, when the pass game was clicking in the first part of the first quarter, you started kind of opening it up a little bit and going for more deep balls. And I don't know, Stetson, if you could kind of tell me a little bit about kind of what the conversations were like with Chad Munkin and, you know, whether you decided to be a little more creative once you got the confidence going with your receivers.
You know, I don't worry about what's called. I just try to go out and execute it. You know, and Coach Monk's a great play caller. So, you know, a bunch of those throws that you saw were run plays, and I just spit them out there. So it wasn't like we were calling pass plays every play. Michigan was just trying to stop the run sometime, putting pressure. And so we'd spit it out there on the edge. But I don't worry about what's called. That's not my job. Coach Monk prepares like nobody else. And so we trust what he calls, and we just go out and execute.
Next question for Connor Riley. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah. Hey, Kirby. What sort of happened there with the Gatorade bath at the end, and how quickly do you turn ahead to Alabama now?
Yeah, I was wanting to get a real shower, not a Gatorade bath, because I want to get focused on Alabama. They got a 5-6 hour head start. So I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not interested in celebrating that. We'll look back on that win, and that'll be great. But we're focused on the task ahead. That's the objective, and that's what our guys, you know, they worked their tail off for 3 to 4 weeks to get this opportunity. And it was a 1-game season, and now it's another 1-game season. I'm not focused on Gatorade baths.
Next question for Richard Johnson. Go ahead, Richard.
Kirby, obviously, as that game gets out of hand, they're not really running the ball. But in the early going, is it any added juice for your defense for a team to face a team that really wants to run the ball? And they say that, you know, they came out early before the game with shirts that said "run the damn ball" on it.
I don't know. I mean, there's a little chip on the shoulder of those defensive guys. I mean, their offense coordinators, the Royals Award over Coach Lanning, who we think did a hell of a job, and their offensive line, Joe Moore Award, and you know what? There's somebody that made that decision that's a lot smarter than me. But we got a hell of an offensive line too, and our guys played with a chip on their shoulder tonight. As DK did on defense, and all the defensive guys did, and they were kind of backed up by a great offensive effort.
Next question for Mark Stallworth. Go ahead, Mark.
How you doing, Coach Smart? This is Mark Stallworth from the Miami Times. Defensive backs is your specialty dating back to your days back in Bainbridge, Georgia. How impressed were you with Derion Kendrick's performance today with the 2 interceptions?
I'll tell you something about this man right here, DK. There's not a player on our team that prepares harder than he does. Okay. He comes to practice every day, gives his great effort, takes notes in meetings. I've never been around a kid that is so attentive in meetings at the corner position. You know, a lot of them just think, well, I got to go play man. He tunes in, and he's a competitor. There's never a walkthrough that he's not focused and locked in. So he set a great example for our other players. You know, he came from a really good program. He came from where they play really good defense. He fit right in with our guys, and he's been a tremendous leader. And I'm really proud of everything. He's got a lot of the accolades and just the things he deserved tonight in the form of interceptions. He hadn't got those rewards in the past, but he's played really well.
Next question for Anthony Dasher. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, DK, this is for you. Just wondering, how much does having experience in this kind of setting help someone? Like I said, Coach Smart mentioned how prepared you always are, but aside from that, just having been in this spot before, how much does it help someone like yourself?
I wouldn't say it helped somebody like me. I said it just helped my teammates, like being able to be there for them. Like when stuff go wrong, just being able to pick them up for the next play. It's always everybody gonna make plays. It's about what you're gonna do the next play and the next play. I gave up a few plays, but I kept pushing, and you see the results.
The next question for Lance McCurley. Go ahead, Lance.
This one's for Stetson. Hey, Stetson, 4 years ago, you were on the sideline at that Rose Bowl, and now you've helped lead your team through 3 touchdowns against Michigan in an Orange Bowl and helped them go to a national championship. How special was that moment on the field when the clock hit 0?
Yeah, it's been a long journey, and me, just like every player in this room or on our team, we love the University of Georgia, and we wear the G with pride. So for us to, come together after all the hours and all the off-season work and fall camp and just the grind of the season and be able to, give ourselves a chance to go to a national championship. It's pretty special. But like Coach said, this game was just so we could play the next game.
Your next question for Jeff Schultz. Go ahead, Jeff.
Kirby, this is the first time this year your team has had to bounce back from a defeat and face some questions. I'm just wondering if, what this game proved to you and if it answered any questions that you might have had about this team.
I really never had questions. I hate to say that, but I never had questions about this team. The resiliency, the bounce back, the amount of character. I've seen it all year. We didn't play well, and we turned the ball over and didn't get any turnovers and played poor in the red area. I mean, like you can list all the things we did in the last game. That's all our kids have heard about for 3 weeks. Our focus has been on, okay, what can we get better at? Where can we turn our energy? Because it does no good to look backwards. It only does good to look forward. And who is our opponent? We always say you can't let a loss beat you twice. And we didn't let that happen today. And now we get to focus our energy on a really good football team. And that's where we'll turn our head and attention now.
The next question for Michael Cunningham. Go ahead, Michael.
This question's for Derion. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Coach Smart mentioned that the defense had a chip on its shoulder. I'm guessing that part of that was because of the performance against Alabama. So I'm just wondering, are you looking forward to getting a chance to, redeem that performance?
As a football player, you always, you ready to go out there regardless of what game it is. We ready to go play regardless of who the opponent is. But just so happened it's Alabama who beat us. So, we got to go back and clean up on some things we done and then just review over the film and just do what we do.
Your next question for Dylan Weber. Go ahead, Dylan.
Stetson, just how helpful is it to have a running back as reliable and explosive in the pass game as James Cook?
Obviously, he creates matchups that a lot of people can't do. Are you gonna play a DB on him? Or are you gonna put a linebacker on him? That's a tough decision for a defense coordinator to make. And then he can run the heck out of the ball too. So what are you going to do? You're going to, sub in a DB, or are you going to play him on a linebacker on him? And he's a special talent, and, I'm sure he was happy with the game he had here at home.
All right, we'll take a couple more questions. Next one's from Dennis Dodd. Go ahead, Dennis.
Stetson, I'm wondering if you could have imagined, I guess, this moment 5 years ago when you were with the team at the Rose Bowl.
No. No. I just, every day from then till now, you just go about your business and, put your best foot forward, and, hopefully, you can't predict the future, but hopefully something works out.
All right, next question for Najee Tobias. Go ahead, Najee.
Okay, so this is for any of you. So how do you all stick together as a team in all situations? How do you guys remain together, even if there's a period of adversity? How do you guys do it?
After this, it starts from really summer workouts and just working together. You always have hard times. You always got times where somebody is down, so you just pick them up, push through, whatever you got to do. And it's always ups and downs in whatever sport you in. It don't matter what you play. You just got to keep looking forward and try to be better the next time.
All right, last question for Mark Stallworth. Go ahead, Mark.
All right, this question is for Coach Smart. Going back to your time in Bainbridge, Georgia, what were some life lessons that prepared you for your role today?
My dad was a high school coach. I grew up around football. I grew up around players. I got a lot of friends and family back there, and I'm proud of where I'm from. You ask these guys where they're from. Everybody takes pride in where they're from. I take a lot of pride in being from South Georgia, where we played good football, and I grew up around a lot of good football players. Those are the guys I kind of grew up looking up to, and now I get to watch my son look up to these two guys, and they take them under their wing like the players did me. So it's something to be proud of.
All right, thanks guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.